All right, we're live on StreamYard and we're live on YouTube. So here we go. Welcome to Rick's Life as I See It, Shooting with Disabilities edition. Welcome. Glad to see who's ever here. Oh, Tactical Fud's here right now. Don't know who else is lurking. But, oops, let me, forgot to silence my phone. Hang on. Let me do that. Get that out of the way. There we go. Yeah, sorry I'm running late. I was talking away here, and I know time just gets away from me. Anyway, we're waiting for some other, see if anybody else shows up. Hope they do, but if they don't, as I said, I looked at the analytics for last week, and what you call it, the more people clicked on it after the fact than was actually here. So, Mystic Guns, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. So that's where I lost my train of thought there. Damn, it's gone totally. Guns and barbecue. What are you doing out there in the chat? You should meant to be in here. To cause havoc and grief and say things that nobody wants to hear and that kind of stuff. Oh, so. Oh man, sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're feeling well enough to come on. So all right. So anyway, let's move on here. So what was I talking about? I can't remember. Oh yeah, just letting time get away from me. It has been. I mean, I've been. I don't know. We were making plans today with my buddy to start shooting firearms again. Because so we're gonna have we're still gonna have a couple of more, code days here, but normally end of February, beginning of March, the weather starts to change here anyway. It starts to getting warmer. So we're making a conscious effort to shoot this year. Last year we hummed and hawed, did it a little bit, then stopped for a couple of weeks and go back to doing it, but we're going to make a conscious effort to shoot more this coming year. Because he said, how much ammo you got? I said, I've got enough. And he goes, well, what are you saving it for? Just in case? I said, yes. He goes, but what if just in case never comes? I said, you got a point there, but the way I'm not trying to get political here, but he said the way things are right now, that just in case might happen. There's more chance of it happening now than at any other time. So I said, yeah, but I said, I got plenty and I can reload more. So that's where we're at. So anyway, there we go. Anyway, let me introduce my panelists for tonight's show. Well, one of them, I don't know if Guns and Barbecue is going to join us or not, but right now we have the co-host of Rick's Life as I See It, New York Outcast. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. A little irritated, but nothing major. And thanks for everybody joining us out there and stuff. Nothing to do with you, Rick, irritation. But earlier today, I ran over to the store where we get our cigarette stuff, tobacco tubes or whatever. Yes, I know, evil smoking. do it the cheap way here in New York, kind of roll my own. But anyway, getting to the story here. Damn guy at the store is like, basically like, where's your girl? Like, then he's like, is that your friend? And, trying to get the info on my girl, which kind of threw me sideways because dude's Indian, so I don't really understand him, and I'm trying to see what the hell he's saying, and it was just kind of weird, but it's just kind of bugs the shit out of me. I can't take her anywhere, it seems like, without people being a damn problem. So
Yeah. So if she was with you, he would hit on her right in front of you. Huh?
he might, like the other damn store the dude did. So I mean, he's an older dude too, but an Indian dude as well. Like, I don't know what's up with these guys, man. Like, like it's all in good fun, but talking about taking her, you want to take her away some island? Might have been Epstein's freaking place for all I know. Like, god damn! Every time I turn around, even when I met up with Squib there at Rod of Iron, turn around for 2 minutes, some guy at the bar is trying to hit on her. Like, this is getting ridiculous. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Just
What
like,
can I
goddamn.
say? If you got to have the trophy woman on your arm, that's the price you got to pay, I guess. There you go.
I don't know. It's guess there's difficulties everywhere in life. So
Yeah. And,
crazy.
you ought to be thankful you got that problem. There's other people out in the world that don't have nobody.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true.
So, anyway, let's see who's in the room. I got some bad news for you, Mystic Guns. You weren't the first. The first in the room was actually Tactical Fud. He came in ages ago, and I think he left, and I don't know whether he's come back or not. So, then there's so we got Tactical Fud, Mystic Guns, Guns and Barbecue. Who else we got? That's it for right now. Man, that's pretty sad. There must be some lurkers in here. So, anyway, we're carry on anyway. And if any of you guys got anything you want to talk about, you can always put it in the chat there or join the chat if you want. I don't mind. I'll send you a link. But I think if you got an email, you got the link. So let's see what we got here. Hang on, I'm losing my Guns and Barbecue. There he is, the one and only Guns and Barbecue. How you doing?
Doing all right. How about you guys?
All right. How are things there in Pennsylvania?
Not too bad. I've been under the weather since Sunday evening, Monday morning, however you want to look at it. But other than that, not bad.
Coming down with the old cold or flu or whatever.
Something. It's kicking my ass, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I've spent pretty much the last since I went to sleep on Sunday at 6 p.m. Really all I've done is sleep. I bet you from then until now, I might have a total of 5 or 6 hours of being awake.
Yeah, well, I know. Hey, I've been like that before. Last time I got sick, it kicked my ass for a couple of days. So I feel for you. I really do.
Yeah, I don't normally get sick. I feel like I got a pretty strong immune system. Like whatever this is like a once a decade illness for me.
Yeah. Because I think it was it last year. Last year, I'd come down with a cold or flu or whatever you want to call it, and it kicked my butt. And I hadn't had one that bad in years. Normally, if I get something like that, I just get the snivels and I just carry on. But that one
Right?
did. It knocked me out basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm glad you could join us. If you need to drop out because you're not feeling well or whatever, I understand. So, we'll be moving on here. So let's see. let's get it out of the way. That's bad. It's not that I'm trying to get out shooting with disabilities section. It's not getting it out of the way. I shouldn't have said that. Is I do normally do it first before we go on to other stuff. Is what I was trying to say. So what I was looking for this time. I mean, what we talked about. I mean, I've looked up handguns, rifles for people with disabilities. Now I've been looking up firearm training courses for people with disabilities. And there's actually quite a few out there, believe it or not. You know, there's some big organizations. Of course, the NRA has the adaptive shooting program. You know, and there's other organizations that have um, their own thing going, basically sort of like using the same format, you know. Um, what you call it? There's a company called Trouble Defense LLC. I'm not sure where they're actually located, but they are meant to be the number one best adaptive blind and visually impaired firearms training. So there you go. There you go.
Interesting.
You know? Yeah. You know, there's some other ones. I mean, even Gun Sights Academy does a firearm training for, you know, people with disabilities. You know, you're disabled, but you're not defenseless. You know, and there's all this kind of stuff there. I mean, there's even training um, sponsored by the United States Concealed Carry Association too. So there's there's even, and I was looking and I typed in, there's actually about 3 or 4 places here in Indiana that they will do through the course of the year, training for people with disabilities. Well, I thought was pretty neat. So, it's just something to look at, because as I think it was on the first one we were talking about doing doing shooting competitions, that there's certain rules that you can follow, that you can go along. It's the same. It's nice that you can do these, that people are willing to teach you how to shoot, to overcome what disability you come, even if it's learning how to hold the gun different, or you might have to use another piece of equipment to be able to do it, because that's how it. I just think it's good that people are willing to do it, and there's got to be an instructor out there. And I think also what I was reading, if you can't find one in your area, if you get hold of the big ones like the NRA, the United States Concealed Carry, even what's the other one? The organization or the outfit that runs SHOT Show. Is it the National Shooting Sports Foundation? The NFSSF, I think it's what it's called. You get hold of them, those big organizations like that. They have you call them up, and they can sort of like point you in the right direction. Somebody who does that kind of training near you, also. So that's which I thought was pretty good. So it's not as bad as it's not as bleak out there for training as people think it is for people with this disabled. It's just, you just gotta, I mean, like me. I mean, yes, I mean I can walk better now because I got both hips replaced, but I still have a bad back. I mean, like walking, right now I'm parked out on the street in front of my house. And for me to walk from my back door down the driveway to my vehicle, time I get there, my back and the back of my legs are starting to hurt. I mean, I'm not going to fall down or anything, but I'm getting pain there, and that's due to the you know, the cirrhosis, spinal cirrhosis, squeezing all my nerves in my spine, because the gap is so small. My spine's moving, and it's squeezed because it's so tight. It's squeezing it as I'm walking, and that's what's giving me the pains down the back of like it's squeezing. Well, mainly, it's also squeezing my sciatica nerve. So then on top of that, I got the arthritis in my shoulders. My whole body is arthritic. So I'm in constant pain anyway. And as I said, that's, as everybody knows, that's why I went to the 380, because firing. I mean, if I could still carry my 45, because in the situation I can pull it and shoot it, but I pay the price later on with it normally makes my arthritis in my hands and wrists flare up. That's why I went to the 380 to ease that back some. Even the other night when I went to bed, I actually still had my compression gloves on, especially on my left hand. I don't know if it's doing any good or not, but with that compression glove squeezing my hand, for lack of a better term, it holds it tight. It sort of hurts less when that happens. So I actually fell asleep, but it's still on. I woke up about 4 a.m. and had to use the restroom, and I took it off there, and I went, shit, I left it on all night, but that's all right. But
jumping back. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. So anyway, with the shooting with disabilities, there is training out there. You just have to, search for it. And for what I can understand, don't quote me on this. Like, if, for argument's sake, if you were a normal person, I don't know if that's the right word to use anyway, and say some shooting course you're going to go on is going to cost you $500, for argument's sake. Having a disability and them holding the course is not really going to cost you much more. It might cost a little bit more because of they might be supplying some special equipment for you to use, if you don't have your own type thing. But, for apples to apples, there's not really a big difference from what I've researched. But I didn't go a deep dive into that. So that's my section on shooting with disabilities this week. Unless anybody else has got anything to talk about with that.
I'd jump in on that and just say I'd be curious if there's any kind of, how those places are dispersed around the country, how many places are available versus the number of typical ranges, or normal ranges, we'll say. Hopefully there is a variety there, but obviously because there is places, it still might be, maybe the closest is 5 hours from you or the next state or something, so it'd be nice if there was possibly some accommodation to get somebody to and from some of these places as well. Not that I'm all about, free stuff, but something. And like you're stating here with if they actually do have dedicated facilities for this, you would think there could be possibly something there as well that would potentially reduce the cost. Because as far as I'm concerned, as a taxpayer, if you're more capable to defend yourself, then you're not going to be calling the police every time somebody flips you the bird, so it's going to save money in the end. It's just, almost the same thing with like trying to tell people to eat healthy food. So you're not at the hospital every day, not, literally, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, be self-productive in that sense. So, yeah, it'd be nice if there was something more on that aspect. I realize, we got it as far as the disability side of things, whether people may know or not, in a lot of cases, we got it pretty good here. There's other countries that don't even consider people's disabilities. Not trying to defend America, but I'm just stating it is a good thing that we have that just in general. Although in some cases it would be a lot, could definitely be improved. So hopefully there is accessibility or people looking, I don't know, somebody's out there trying to use some of this Somali money for stuff that actually means something. I'd sign on to some type of training for disabilities at a discount. So also would like to see kind of different layers. There's the standard training, and I'd like to see more advanced training in some senses for disabilities as well, because I personally know, a couple families that have strong disabilities, and they do not want any breaks or shortcuts. When it even comes down to taking their trash out, they may fall 5 times to get it to the curb, but don't you dare go offer them help. That's just type people they are. So something a little rougher, not to sound crazy, but what's the most likely scenario? If you're in a chair, somebody, might come up and push you out, things like this. So, things that are a little more realistic instead of sitting at a table talking about things all the time. So that's my big, some of the training courses is just,
Actually,
like more for my money.
Talking about that, I mean, a lot back before he died, years ago. What's his name? James Yeager at his place there. That a lot of people criticized him because years ago, if somebody came, he would take people in wheelchairs and stuff like that. In his normal, he didn't do a special, training session for disabled people. They joined in with the regular people. He treated them all the same. But where I was going, he got criticized because there was a couple of people there in wheelchairs. He'd push them over. And he goes, well, that could happen.
I think it makes sense.
What?
It's just like, I honestly think it makes sense. It's comparable to an instructor smacking you in the back of the head when you're trying to take shots and stuff like that. It's just the same type of thing in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you don't want somebody smacking your kid in the back. There's differences of this stuff. But what you're getting into when you get into it.
I mean, if I'm on a course and then because I'm not I'm not falling over, but I'm not always on uneven ground. I'm not 100% steady per se. So if an instructor pushed me over, say, well, it could happen to you out there. I understand that, and I don't mind doing that. But they're going to have to help me get up. That's, I mean, I can get down. Like if I had to shoot on my knee and stuff, I can get down there. It's getting up is the hard part for me. So getting down is getting harder too the older I get.
Like, how you say you're concerned, you feel vulnerable getting in and out of your vehicle. You said that live several times, or did with the truck. So that would be a perfect scenario for a trainer to work with you with, something along those lines. Somebody runs up, pressing you in the door, and now they're trying to rip the door out of your hand. What are you doing?
now,
Something like that. That would be, I would say, a good thing. It's as closer to reality than sitting at a table with PowerPoint presentation or God knows what talking about it.
I mean, I think you should be out there, shooting a firearm and doing what it's there. Classroom instruction's good, but doing the actual, as you said, climbing in and out of my truck before it got totaled. You know, so you bring that still tugs at me, but having training like that, what you do when you're trying to get in and out, and you have to use. Basically, I had to use both hands, arms to get into the truck. I didn't have a free hand or whatever to, use. I had to hold on to two things to pull myself in. Now luckily in the Blazer, it's my when I go to get in, I don't have to stand up on a what you call it anymore, step to get in, because it's higher than a normal car, so it's easier for me still to get in. But at least my foot is on the ground now, But it's still, it's. I still feel even. I really haven't driven anywhere per se in it yet, except to my friend's house and back, and down to the diner type thing. But I still feel, nervous about getting out of vehicles, even if I'm driving sitting as a passenger, getting in and out. It's still I'm still at a weak point there. That is a weakness that I have, and it's something that I wouldn't mind having that sort of training thing on that too. So how do you defend yourself when you have to take care getting in and out of vehicles? Now that would be something to look into, or there's somebody who knows how to train people with that. I like to know. So there we go. Good point. You're very quiet there, Guns and Barbecue.
Is I would just like to take this moment to remind folks that the most common disability when it comes to shooting or anything like that is being left-handed, but it's all right because they do make firearms for you wrong-handed folks as well.
I'm left-handed.
I rest my case.
Yeah, I'm left-handed, but I shoot right-handed firearms. Like when I'm shooting but I shoot left. I can shoot right or left-handed with a handgun, as you all know. But with a long gun, a rifle, it goes up to my left shoulder. So every now and then, not very often, but out of say 100 rounds, I can guarantee a piece of hot brass will hit me in the side of the head. As it flies out, because I'm shooting basically a right-handed gun. Where if you're holding it on this one, it's shooting out away from you. Well, when I'm shooting it, it's going across. It actually goes up and over. But occasionally, if it doesn't flip out there right or whatever, I have been known to be hitting the side of the head. Mainly hits me on my head, on my hat. So I'm lucky. But I've had the odd piece of hot brass hit me on the side of the face. One time, I even had a piece. I actually shot up and it actually came down. I wasn't wearing a hat, and it hit me in the right here on the right above my eye and the forehead, and then slipped down between my glass and my eye. God, that was hot. I thought my eyeball burned out. So there's you got to be careful when you're out there shooting. Just thought I'd just throw that out there.
Rick's taking hot loads to the face.
I've taken a hot piece of brass to the face. So there you go. Luckily, it doesn't stay hot for long, but it's enough. It's enough to grab your attention. Let's put it that way. So
yeah, it's just one of those things, If you haven't been burnt by a piece of brass yet, then you haven't shot enough. That's just
Exactly.
how it is.
Exactly. That's right. You know.
Yeah,
But
sometimes they can get stuck in some bad spots. It's one thing I used to bitch about with the throat guards that they have us use with an IBA or whatever, clips around your neck. That was a horrible place to get it because, it's just trying to get down in there and it just keeps pressing it against your neck. And the more you move, the tighter it drops down in. And it's not an easy thing to pull off the way it's clipped in and shit. It's just a pain in the ass. So you might as well just deal with it. But that's, I think that might be the guy's comparison to female cleavage, unless it, falls in your friend's ass crack or something like that. I don't know, but it's not fun.
no, it's not. It's not.
Let's say I was shooting the one time. I don't remember exactly what I was shooting, but it was throwing brass pretty much straight up over me. And I was wearing a collared shirt, and sure enough, one of those pieces of brass come right down into that into my neckline there. I
Oh yeah,
was
between your neck and the collar. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know what you mean. So, I said I've had. As I said, it happens to me. Not every time I go shooting, but it's happened to me more than I care to remember because I'm shooting a right-handed gun. Because you guys, yes, you make me a left-handed gun, but you charge me twice the price for it too. That's the pisser right there. Why should I have to pay more to have
because you're wrong-handed. It's not our fault.
Yeah.
Like, you guys get the short stick when it comes to uniformity. I don't know if I'm making that word up or screwing it up, but basically the majority of shooters are right-handed. So you lefties, you just are told to figure it out,
Oh yeah, and that's what I've
You
done.
stumble across another gun on the ground to pick up, it's probably gonna be for a righty. So you just gotta roll with it, man. It's it sucks for you guys, it's pretty shitty, but that's the way it goes. My lady's left-handed too, but I think she's like half alien, so it justifies it.
Yeah, yeah. But as you said there, if you got to pick up a firearm 9 times out of 10, it's going to be, like a normal firearm that a right-hander will pick up and shoot with no problem. So I think left-handers should train. If all their rifles are set up for them to shoot left-handed, great. But they should learn how to shoot a right-handed gun. Because that's, as you said, that would be the gun you would pick up. So.
At the end of the day, anybody and everybody should be training to shoot ambidextrously. When I say train, I don't mean anything hardcore, but just enough where you're familiar with it. You can do it if the need arised. Back when I could see and I get to the range a lot more often, my uncle and my cousins and I would often have shooting competitions, almost like playing horse, but with firearms. And so it was, you got to do this one-handed, or you got to do this one left-handed. And on top of that, we'd have ridiculously small objects to shoot. Like, we'd take a 9mm casing and have to hit that. All kinds of random stuff. And just doing little things like that, one, will make you a better shooter, but it makes it a ton of fun. But it takes the, I guess, monotony out of going, okay, I'm going to fire 100 shots left-handed now, even though I'm right-handed, just because, that day could come where I end up in a firefight or something and something happens to my right arm. So I've got to fight with my left arm still. Could that happen? Yeah. Is it likely? No. But at the end of the day, you should be able to be proficient both ways.
Yeah, you're right. I was actually talking about that. I was thinking about it because I have. I don't shoot a rifle right-handed. It feels so. I feel I don't even know how to do it. If I can't, I've tried, and it just. But with my 308 back there, because it has the part on it, I could start with just learning to put it in the shoulder there, and shoot that way, and let that hold the front of the gun up until I get used to that. Then I could bring my other hand in to help me shoot. I might try that this year. Try to shoot it right-handed. Mind you, I could always
Yeah.
put that onto my AR too, but it looks better on the 308.
Offhand shooting, I think, is definitely beneficial. In some cases, it's used in clearing buildings or whatever as well. So it could definitely already just basic cornering, but definitely be beneficial. So it's been a struggle for me. So I ain't gonna lie, and I don't practice it every day now. So I'd probably be a lot worse. But which is odd because I can write with both hands. I can swing a hammer with both hands. Like I can pretty much do everything with both hands, but shooting still was difficult. So, you might be surprised, even if you think you're lucky and you're pretty good with both hands. I don't know. It's the, sighting and whatnot, especially when you're still dominant another way. So, it can be a little tricky. So definitely something I think worth spending a little bit of time on.
Oh, absolutely. As you all know, I learned because of when I had the operation on my hand, it was all, with the thing on there. And I learned I had to teach myself to shoot right-handed. Now, as everybody knows, I can shoot with both hands, either left or right, you know. So, but not with a rifle. I can do it with a handgun, but not with a rifle yet. So, I guess that's a start. So, you know, I've even talking about brass out of a rifle, even out of a handgun. I've had brass hit me, because the right-handed guns, it ain't made backwards where the bullet flies out the opposite direction. So there you go. It's just a curse I have to live with, you know. And what makes it worse? I mean, I know my hair is all white now and stuff, but not only am I left-handed, I used to be red-headed left-handed. So that made me. I was even more disadvantaged.
Were you a stepchild?
No, no.
No.
But
Well,
sometimes
you
I
got
felt like
lucky there because that would have
sometimes
been
I
like
felt like it. I can tell you.
that would have been like three strikes on you. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I digress slightly here. But damn, I don't. The women in the chat here, I apologize, but I love redheaded women. I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. But anyway, there we go. Let's get back on topic. So, what I see, I made me lose my train of thought there. So anyway, that's actually my shooting. That actually stretched out longer than I thought it was going to, which is good. That's what I like to hear. So, but you guys got any new firearms on the agenda on your list that you're going to buy lately or anything? I mean, until my vehicle's paid for, which is going to take. I worked it all out 2 more months, and that vehicle will be paid for. Then I'll have some free cash to get my CMMG 22 thing to slide into my AR-15. So That's my first thing on my list. And I still want, serves no purpose, but I still want my 410 lever action shotgun. You know? That's number one and number two for me. So we'll see how it goes.
And nothing in the near future for me. So
Yeah, well,
bigger financial fish to fry at the moment. So
yeah,
I might start considering taking another ammo run. Usually I hit like a 10-hour radius to the different shops and whatnot, but other than that, it's about it. So I don't know, and I haven't bought ammo in so long. I don't know how that'll go. I'd probably go in a shock or something. So,
yeah.
but
Now talking about ammo, it'd be easier for you to sort of like drop over to Pennsylvania and buy ammo. Is there any restrictions of bringing it back into New York State?
no, not that I'm aware of. So as long as it's not for resale, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've never had any issues, and yeah, that's basically it. Half of it's New York, half it's PA.
Yeah.
But New York's recently done a thing where you gotta basically fill out paperwork and this and that on ammo and stuff now. So it's like, probably now that you say that, it kind of reminds me, I'll probably just hit PA. So not that I'm worried about it, but personally, it ain't nobody's business, you know.
I agree with you.
It's like,
I agree with you.
I don't know about, last I heard there was some type of tax they were trying to put on it too. So
Yeah.
I'm not, obviously, PA for me is like a 15-minute ride or something like that. So
Yeah. Now, how
doesn't make
far are
any
you from
sense
where
to do
Guns
it
and
here.
Barbecue lives?
It's like 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
It's a ways.
Oh, yeah.
It's a ways, unfortunately. So I've looked into it a couple times. So figure down there, harass them. But yeah, it's quite the trip.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just curious. So, I think since the government doesn't want us to have, even though the rest of the country does, but the people want it, but the government doesn't, voter ID. Next time I go to a gun store, fuck them. They ain't getting my ID. If I don't need it to vote, you don't need it to sell me a gun.
That's cute. Let me know how that works out for you.
I will.
Yeah.
Can I call you from jail to bail me out?
I don't think you'll end up in jail or anything. I just don't think you're going to end up with a firearm.
Yeah.
But you understand it's the same principle, though, isn't it? Really?
100%.
Yeah. So.
I think it's crazy. I mean, I get the one part of the argument on the whole ID thing, but everybody's going to freak on this. But in my opinion, when you're born, you didn't sign any paperwork. So, everything that's instantly placed upon you. You're given a social security card, our future debt from what they're calculating you're going to be worth or whatever. It's the same with like getting a license. You got to give up your right to ask for a right, kind of. Do you know you get in less trouble if you've never had a license and drive a vehicle versus you have a license or a bad license and drive a vehicle? Like, you're kind of, it's not the sovereign citizen thing, but I would like, people to opt in. I mean, I guess if you opt out, you're probably deported. Don't get me wrong, but it should still kind of be a choice. Some of this, I don't know, kind of bugs me. So I get the ID thing on that aspect, but when you look at everything else, whether it's a damn lighter, cigarettes, anything, go around a place, people want ID everywhere. So I really don't see why it shouldn't be a problem. At least something like an ID that doesn't sign away your rights. So, sheriff's ID or something, get something. But they should be able to accept, I don't see why you can't get an ID, and it's not because you're black and don't know how to fill out paperwork, because that's bullshit. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
that's a feeble excuse.
I don't get it.
I want to
Because they're
know,
poor and can't get library cards.
Yeah,
I think,
something like. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's the one of the stupidest things I ever heard at that time. Like that's
I'm
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
dumb.
But I bet you those people who they claim don't know how to fill out the paperwork for an ID, I bet you they figure out how to buy cigarettes and booze without an ID.
Oh yeah, or get welfare or
Yeah,
WIC or
yeah.
any other program. Yeah, yeah. But God forbid to vote. It's your ass. It's like a cardinal sin or something.
Oh,
So
yeah.
no, I'm with the ID to vote. I kind of get the fact. I don't think you should. Yeah, I don't necessarily like the beginning of the process, but I think you need an ID to vote. So I'm fine with that.
I don't have a problem with it. Because again, if I, like Rick was alluding to, if I've got to show ID to purchase a firearm, there's zero fucking reason that I shouldn't have to show ID to vote. I think that proving who I am to cast a vote in an election that you know dictates what happens in my local government, state government, and federal government is far more important than me proving who I am and whether I am quote unquote safe or not to have a firearm.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right. So I was reading what Vanessa Kitty wrote. She goes, when you sign up for voting in your area, what do you have to do? Every place I ever signed to vote had me show who I am first of all. Then, if that info is correct, I could then swear in to vote. You know,
Is
that's
she
the
talking
important.
about registering to vote?
Well, no, if you've registered to vote, you have to prove who you are, right? Once you've done that, why do you have to keep showing it? I'm assuming that's what she says.
That's what I was wondering if is what she was getting at. But the thing is, great, once you're registered, when you go to the polls, I'm registered in the same place now for I don't know how long. And at any time, somebody could just go in there and be like, "Hi, I'm Guns and Barbecue. I'm here to vote," and they'd be like, "You at blah 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 sign." That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Same
Vanessa
here.
got
They
a
don't
good
check
point.
ID. Same
You know,
here.
like you got to get like you said, the Real ID Act. You know, that little star on your license you have now was meant to prove once and for all that you're a legal citizen. You know?
I don't know, man. I don't even like the whole real ID and everybody's gonna be forced to get it. Yeah, I think that's more of that. I don't know, tracking shit and everything. What's wrong with a regular ID? I don't
Hey,
understand the difference.
hey, the government passed the act, so you ain't got no choice in the matter.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, they probably will, but I just, personally, I don't like how everything gets pushed upon you. Because here they have it like you can't fly without it. You can't go up to Canada. There's, they sell it as benefits. You don't need a passport to go to our like Puerto Rico and Canada, things like this. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I don't like. They keep trying to advance and they want more and more and more, and it kind of bugged the shit out of me.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I still think I understand where Vanessa's coming from, but I still think you need your ID. I can understand. You go to register to vote, you prove who you are, you're good to go. But what happens if I walk into New York to a polling booth and say, "Hey, I'm Rob, New York Outcast. I'm here to vote." Right? And you have already registered and showed them who you were and everything. But when I walk in, the person I'm talking to never met you, so they're going to take me at my word that I'm Rob.
That's literally.
That's why I think you still need the ID to show them.
Yeah, regular ID of some sort. I agree with.
A
Like I
picture,
said,
a picture
state
ID
or
to
sheriff's
show who
department,
you are.
something legitimate.
Yeah. I've had a real ID for quite a long time. One day when I can't remember, it was quite a few years. Well, whenever it came out, was it last time or the time before that? When I went to renew my license, they automatically put it on there. They said, "Oh, here you go, got the real ID on here now." I don't remember showing them anything who I was, so. Maybe they were doing it wrong, but I got the real ID and I've had one on my license ever since. I actually forget it's even there, to be honest with you. But technically, they're saying you got to have them to fly now on your ID. If you don't have that on your ID, you can't fly domestically. So there you go. The world, we're not as free as we think we are, to be honest with you. The government's got us by the short and curly. They really have. They know who we. I mean, for argument's sake, I don't worry about people get annoyed that the government's going to know who you are. They know everything about you as it is. Well, especially me. I work for the government, so they got my fingerprints anyway. Because when I got my first government job, I had to give them my fingerprints. So so they're on file. So there you go. But anyway, we're almost out of time, guys. You realize the hour has gone by so fast? We've talked about shooting and real IDs. There we are. See, I was trying to stay off politics, but there you go. I don't think that's a political thing. I think it's a thing that just needs to be.
And another thing about the IDs, which pisses me off, now that we're on IDs or were, here in New York, it wasn't long ago, I think like 4 years ago, something like that. They spent a shitload of money everybody had to get new IDs. So, everybody got a new ID. When yours expired, you got the new style. And they had just switched it prior to that again, so they basically every few years are coming up with a new ID for us over here is what it seems like. And the taxpayers are paying. And with this, they're outsourcing it from U.S. companies now up to Canada that was doing it for a while because something about the technology or something or whatever, I don't know. And it's like we're just constantly repaying for the same shit when nothing was wrong with the same one to begin with. And now we're even sending money out of the damn country for our IDs. Like, you would assume that would be, sensitive information in some sense, but we're giving everybody's everything, fingerprints and everything to other countries and paying them. Like, I don't know. I just don't, maybe it's a New York thing, but it seems like one of the ways we're just spending a lot of unnecessary money in ways that we probably shouldn't be.
Not only that, if you buy a suppressor or short-barreled rifle, you've given the government your fingerprints. They have you. And as we all know, even though they're not meant to have it by law, they've got a registry of every goddamn firearm that you have bought. Off of your 4473, which they weren't meant to keep, but somehow they all got electronically scanned into a computer. I was reading something the other day. Was it last year or the year before, the Congress ordered the ATF to get rid of all their they had with all the names on it, and they had 900,000 names on this thing. Now they got almost a billion registered names of people who own firearms. Because, I mean, don't forget, every firearm you bought, there's a 4473. So your name being, your name might be on there 10 times or 20 times, or how many guns 4473s you filled out. Whether they condense them all down to say, oh, what? Oh, look, there's 20 4473s in this guy's name. Or put them all under one, in the registry. I don't know. But put it this way, they never got rid of it. It got bigger from what I was reading. So. Yeah, we're not as free as we think we are. That's all I'm saying. But the other way I look at it, I know it's kind of morbid for you young guys, but I was talking to my buddy about this, was it yesterday or the day before? I've got the way, I mean, how can I put it? If the United States falls, because it falls from, it's going to crash from within. An outside power ain't going to kill us. We'll do it to ourselves. Now, this is the morbid bit, was when that happens, at least I won't have to live in that kind of country for much longer. Because I'm up there. I'm getting up there in age. So, but then again, you look at it another way. Hey, Robert Duvall, who just died, he was 95. So, I mean, he lived another 30 years past what I am now. Almost 30 years. I think he was 25 or 26 years older than me. So I could still be around for that long. But then again, you've all heard, I say it jokingly, but I know. How many fat 90-year-olds have you seen? Not many, if any. So, there we go. Anyway, you guys got anything you want to finish up with before I do the quiz? Because it's quitting time.
Oh, yeah. One thing. So, Mr. Rob D, please tell me about your lady. Is she your lady? Is she your wife? Could I take her out sometime? Give her a dot. What do you think?
Son of a bitch.
That's a sore subject there, Guns and
What am I?
You're trouble.
Yeah.
I hear you eat all her strawberries all the time. I cannot blame her for being mad.
All right, I'm going to do the quiz. So before Rob loses it. All right, my quiz. Drawing is when? Is it next week or the week after? I think it's the week after. The week after. March the 4th is the drawing. What I want to know, it's a real easy one. The Weston Big Jake, starring John Wayne, if you guys didn't know. I want to know the name of the dog in the movie. And I want to know the name of the dog or the dog's name in real life, for lack of a better term. Also, what breed of dog was it? Email me at rickslifeasIseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by the 4th and you'll be in for the swag pack. So there we go. That's the quiz done. All right. So, Rob, you got any closing statements or anything you want to say?
Just, be careful if you let your ladies shop at those stores with those Indian guys. That's all I can really say. Other than that, eat a salad. Don't take any shit. Thanks for coming by, and we'll catch you next week.
All right. How about you, Guns and Barbecue? You got anything?
I'd just like to say, hey, Misfits, darling, you can stir my cement anytime.
Anyway, with that, I'm calling it. So I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. If you guys got anything you want to bring up as a topic, either email me and I can use it. If any questions any topics you want to bring up, like with shooting with disabilities, email me those as well, and I can use them. So with that, I'm going to say good night, and I will see you all next week at 7 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So good night, everybody. Good night, Sabrina.
Get jiggy with it.